the relationship between time and money. One of the things is time is very, very important in this equation. Time is super important. When you're starting to do something and you don't factor in time, you're cheating yourself. Time is very important. You need to factor in, let's see, there's two ways that we're going to look at this. The first way is the decisions that you make just like that. You don't have to factor in time. You just like, bam, I make a decision. Maybe you met your wife and you just decided to marry her within hours of meeting her. You decided to start a business instantly. You went after something. Typically, when everything aligns itself up correctly, you don't bring time into the equation. You don't even think about it. And the relationship between time and money has to do with how much time are you putting into your money? Because, once again, if you measure your time, you look at how much time goes into whatever you're doing, you're going to be able to figure out why is it going or not going. Like, I can give you an example. When I first started the YouTube channel, it was going, but I was doing one or two videos a week. And that lasted 3 weeks because I remember the conversation I had with me. It's like, man, you put up a video, you get more traffic to your blog. You need to put more videos. So I started putting full time effort into the channel long before I got any money. And this is one of the things that you've got to look at because seriously, capacity comes in advance of using it or the money. Like, say you're building a business, you need a warehouse. You will fill that warehouse up at some point, unless it's massive. But you have to go ahead and make the commitment to getting the warehouse before you will need it all. Because this is one of the biggest mistakes that most people make. They wait too long to make that move. Then you need to start a side business. You've been thinking about that side business for 3 to 4 years. How much time have you wasted? You need to lose weight. You need, and you ain't working on it. So the relationship between time and money is not in your favor. And also, it takes time to make money. This is one of the things that so many people don't want to factor in, don't want to mention, don't want to talk about. The sooner that you get started, the sooner that you get on that path, the sooner that you become more in tune to like like YouTube videos. I've gone through many, many different changes. Like right now, I do a lot of live streams. And at one point, I used to be very good at pre recorded videos, and I used to do a lot of those. I have to get back in the habit of doing those because today I've done several live streams across multiple channels. And once again, I want to get this thing going to a certain level. And I know I'm going to have to invest the time. See, today was a very good day because, typically, sometimes I kind of slack up on my recovery. I'll have a good day and I'll have a day where I'm just tired and I can't really do much. Today wasn't one of those days. Today, I put in the time. And putting in the time is how you get the money. Because there's the eerie relationship between time and money. If you were to measure your hours and measure your productivity, you would be able to see the ebb and flow of your money. Most people go to work, they punch a clock, they don't really measure their productivity. But once you start measuring your productivity, an interesting thing can happen. You can do more in less time. How many of y'all do eBay? eBay is typically like, I remember it used to take me 25 out, all day to do 25 listings, between the taking the pictures and writing the description. And the more I did it, I came up with shortcuts. I would take all of the pictures first. Then I would write up all the descriptions, and then I would start listing the stuff. Grouping activities made me faster. So I was able to do way more in less time. That's money. That is the relationship between time and money. When you can do more in less time. And the only way you're going to get there is to start spending the time doing whatever you need to do. Like with storage auctions. It used to take us all day to clean out one unit. And cleaning out was going through it, going through the boxes and stuff. Toward the end of my storage auction career, blaze through a 10 by 20 in an hour and have the truck loaded with the big stuff. Time, the relationship between time and money. Time is money. And once you start to manage time appropriately, you will make more money. You will make way more money. The money will start stacking because, going back to Craigslist, whenever I spent the time and I had my ads put up, I made money. And then when I could see the ebb and flow of the money, when I could see the money go down, I could go back to, oh, this day I did not post as many ads. This is the relationship between time and money. Once you begin to monitor your time, you will be able to predict your income. You will be able to, like, well, I have to post X amount of ads. I have to make X amount of phone calls. Brian Hendricks, was storage auction the first business you started? You must be new around here. No, it wasn't. I sold brand new office furniture. That was the first business. And that's how I got into storage auctions, because when I sold brand new office furniture, I saw that used stuff sold better at a better margin. And that was like, how do I find more used stuff? And that's what led me to storage auctions. Are you starting a business? And please answer the question, because I got a lot of folks who ask me questions. I ask them a question, they just disappear. Like, I ain't gonna watch this guy anymore. And when did you realize you need to move on to other businesses? Typically, it wasn't a realization, it just happened. I got sick. My partner developed cancer. Wasn't a decision, it just happened. And time is very important in that regard. When I got sick, I was productive because, we still had to clean out the warehouses because the leases were coming up, and I was selling stuff. But I was like, let me write a book. That was, the first book was supposed to be a relationship book. I got halfway through and I realized I didn't want to be the relationship book dude, because men weren't going to buy that book. I had to write that book for women. And a lot of the fundamental truths that were starting to show themselves, I mean, I had all kinds of crazy situations. Tabitha David, how did you deal with limiting beliefs? This happened in the boarding house. I worked on my mental, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and Earl Nightingale Lead the Field. When I came up with Scheme Incorporated, that was beyond all of my belief systems. That was outside of my belief systems. You got to work on it. You got to actually write down what your limiting beliefs are on paper and work against them. That's one of the best ways because you know what your limiting beliefs are, or you should. Because I just did a live stream on Disruptive Male, and a limiting belief is you need a woman to elevate you. That's a limiting belief, and a lot of men have it. Thanks, Brandon. One of the things that happens is time is a non-renewable resource. Today is June 18th, 2019. Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get another June 18th. Next year, as progression rolls, you'll get there will happen another one, but you won't get this one back. So you got to take advantage of the moment. And this is one of the things that I did with the book. I went hard and fast with the book. I had a sense of urgency. You must have a sense of urgency because time is money. And without a sense of urgency, you can waste a lot of time and you can waste a lot of money because time is money. Money is time. And once you understand that, you won't have any more days that you just don't do anything because, like, there's somebody here who's been watching the channel for 4 years and they keep meaning to start a business and they never get around to it. They've wasted 4 years. Rael, self-esteem is the foundation of high performance. Dan Pena. I will agree with that. Tabitha got to be able to envision yourself successful first before it can happen. If you can't see it, no one else will. No, I took about 30 days. I didn't do anything. And I made a video talking about what happened because people were like, where's Glendon? So I felt I owed the community that video. And then about 2 weeks later after that, I got back on it. Guru James always asks people when I hear stories of someone locked up for 30 years, then released because they found out they didn't do the crime. No amount of money can make up for that. 30 years is 3 decades that was stolen from a person. You can never get that back. You can never get those. I mean, so many things can happen in a decade, let alone three. So I agree. Yeah, you got to get busy, but you do have to worry about the time because there's this sense of urgency that you must develop. What they call it in athletes, running around like your hair is on fire. There's a sense of urgency that you see with the best people. You see it with certain football players. They call it a high motor, where they're always trying to get to the ball. They could be 20 yards from the ball and they end up on the tackle because they got that high motor. One of the things you need is a high motor. You need to learn not to waste time. One of the problems with my recovery is I'll have days where my energy just goes and I'll have to take a nap or something. That's one of the reasons that this is a struggle. Like today I worked out, didn't have to take a nap, got a lot of stuff done. And when I have this energy, I got to get as much done as possible. Confidence breeds confidence. I got to agree with that. Learning and application must occur at the same time, apply and assess rapidly. And this is what I'm talking about. When you're reading on one of those books, You need to read the book and you need to do the tips in the book at the same time. One of the reasons that I have such a high degree of confidence is I've done a lot of stuff. This comes out. Ooh, Rael, many times we view ourselves as failure through other people's eyes. That's you living for other people. One of the big things is the relationship between time and money is mastery. If you spend your time mastering something, becoming very good at something, you automatically will increase your self confidence. And if what you're mastering is something that's viable, that rest of society sees as valuable, you could be working on um, a product or service. Because, like, Drake in My Feelings, the Shiggy dance, this guy got so much popularity, and Drake brought him on the concert, and Drake paid him. But he had mastered that little dance, and it was one of those things that he got a lot of exposure, but he didn't have no follow-up act. He didn't know what the next thing was, which is one of the things that happened to me during the storage auction book. I had a lot of people who were buying the book, and it was like, look, man, I need some more information about this Craigslist stuff. And this is why I wrote Pimping Craigslist for Fun and Profit, because a lot of people demanded it. Because Craigslist is an interesting resource. Well, one of the things is you got to keep people out your business. Let's see, how can I say this? If you have a positive, loving, rewarding family, you can share stuff with them. You got a grandma that's like, ooh, you gonna be a scientist? You working on your PhD? Congratulations. You got people like that. You can share with them. You got people who like, oh, you gonna try that? You don't need to share with them. I hear you. I'm not surrounded by anything but support. I can hear that perspective though. Oh, definitely. You must become an architect of your life, because when you start to master the relationship between time and money, and you begin to understand the relationship between time and money in your decision making process, you will greatly enhance your success rate. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. If you reorientate yourself, that every time you want to try something, you instantly start doing it. Oh, I want to do hiking. Next thing you know, you're at REI, you buy the stuff, and then next weekend you plan the trip. You need to get faster with your time management, because people who need weeks and months to marinate over something, most of those folks never end up rich. People who make quick decisions and start working on these decisions, these folks change the world. They become people of note. Because when I was writing my first book, the relationship book, I instantly did a pivot. It happened the same day, because I was writing this book, I was meeting women, I was interviewing women, fundamental truths were coming out, that I realized that the book that I was writing, women were not going to buy it. If you're going to write a relationship book for women, I mean, essentially, if you want to write a relationship book for men and get them to read it, it has to be titled like How to Get All the Trim You Can Handle. That book of men will buy, like How to Have a Loving and Open Relationship. Most men are not going to buy that book. And I was coming across a lot of the philosophy you saw in Disruptive Male. And I realized that women were not going to buy this book. They weren't. Yeah, you got to get that do it now habit. You've got to start taking off, moving on stuff quickly, very quickly. 89 Dr. Funk. I totally agree. Stop watching the news for a week and watch how your state of mind changes. I don't watch the news. I listen to certain parts of it because I mean, seriously, watching the news, the local news will depress you. You would think there ain't nothing but bad stuff happening in the world. You got to monitor what goes into your mental. This is why, I used to talk about, be careful with Facebook, um, being careful with social media. Like much of the stuff that happens in the manosphere, I don't believe in it. I'm not part of it. I just did a live stream on Disruptive Mail talking about the new channel, and we're not going to be talking about beta or alpha. We're going to be talking about becoming an influencer, an influencer, and a man of influence. Being able to influence people, that's a great power to have. Local news don't make you want to come outside. People got to get out of that. I'm gonna. There's some people who've been watching this channel for 4, 5, 6 years. There's some people who've been watching the channel since I started, and they've not started their business. They've not made that move. I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna. One of the things you have to do is make a decision and get busy. Get really, really busy. Because here's something, the relationship between time and money. Look at all of the young people online making big money. They don't have years of experience. They hop on it, they master it, they make money, and when it peters out, they move on. Thanks, Cruz, for the $5 super chat. You know what topics to hit, G? This is real brain hacking and it sounds simple. I think that's why most people can't grasp it. The work is the beast. Yeah, you got to work it because once you get on, you start factoring in time and money. It opens your eyes because, like, take Grant Cardone. That's one busy dude. He's always on the go. He's always doing something because time is money. The man trying to make millions of dollars per month, so he can't sit down. Vision plus execution equals manifestation. If you want to bring these thoughts in your head to reality, you got to get busy. And this is one of the things because as I was talking about on the stream for the Disruptive Male, we become men of action. When you're busy, you don't have time to be jealous. You don't have time to be a hater. Yeah, the metaphysics are super important because once you start activating this stuff, it's like you're going to have fun. I'm here to tell you. Stack the flipper. I got on my grind real hard 2 years ago, so hard my wife wanted a divorce because I wasn't spending this much time with her. After thinking about it for a minute, I said, okay. If you got a woman who's going to leave you because you building something, yeah, that's a woman worth letting go. It is bad when you have too much free time. Right. Those younger people are not jaded like older folk people are. Older people are always whining, a few setbacks, and they're ready to give up on life. If I gave up every time something didn't happen the way that I wanted to, oh man. Hey, now, Dr. Funk, starting a business is not going to be perfect looking, but it will get better over time. Absolutely. Because when you make that decision to get started, that is one of the most important decisions that you will make. Get started, start the machine to move. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at people. There's this one guy I was watching. He talks about that Wi-Fi bread. Let's get this Wi-Fi bread. And I watched him, and I actually ended up buying an Instagram account. Took action. And one of the things I'm finding out is, I bought a Indian Instagram account. So it was in my plans to buy 3. So Mark Cuban said, got to the point he had to choose a business or a relationship, and he chose business. One of the things is, and let's give a few women credit. There's some smart women out there that realize that you building a business and they ain't going nowhere. They'll find something to do. But if a woman is like, you ain't paying enough attention to me, I got to bounce. That's a silly woman. That's an immature woman. Brian Hendricks, how does that information help you? And I asked you a question. Then I'm gonna start doing this. Like when people start asking these deep probing questions, when I ask you a question, you don't answer it, I'm gonna stop answering your questions. How does this information help you? I'm looking for an answer. Brian Hendricks. I saw Soul Train episode 1. It was awful, but it was a huge success over time. I even saw your channel, that G, and it's night and day difference. Oh, in the beginning, I was like a scared little chipmunk. Hey, this is Glendon Cameron. I want to talk to you about storage auctions. But once again, once you do it, competence comes with practice. And many people are not practicing enough because I had one of my sales managers, because, when I got the job at Really Crate, I was afraid of the phone because it was just like people were like, say no. And to hear, 10 no's in a row. But I kept on it because Shanley kept on me, and I kept on it and kept on it. Got to a point where those no's didn't impact me. I was like, oh. And I remember this one guy, he hung up on me, and I instantly dialed him back and was like, hey, we were disconnected. And he started laughing. He said, I hung up on you. I said, I didn't know this. When can we set this appointment? And I set the appointment. So once you start to build the tough skin that comes from playing the game, you become remarkable. You become a much stronger person, because the relationship between time and money is like this. Time is money. And if you spend in time, you spend in money. And this is one of the things that happens to, I had a situation. Well, I was dating this girl, and, she wanted to go out on Friday night with her friends because they were having a little event. And I said, I can't go because I got to get up in the morning, and I got to open up the warehouse, and she knew all this. And she was like, could you shut it down one weekend? And I got irritated. I got really irritated. And I yelled at her. I was like, wait a minute. You want me to miss out on making money so I can hang out with you? And I just said it bluntly like that. And she's like, you make it sound like such a bad thing. It's like, I don't ask you to miss out on money to hang with me. I'm very supportive of your career. This is my business. No, I am not going to cancel this weekend to hang out with you, because we were talking about I was gonna miss $2,000 or $3,000. And I was just like, I got indignant. I got irritated. I was like, really? And we got into a little argument because I was on the phone and we had beef. We didn't talk for about 2 weeks. And then, she called me. She's like, hey, I was like, look, if you gonna ever try to come between me and my business again, my business is always gonna win. Just told her straight up. Maybe it will help me learn from your experience and give guidance. Well, first of all, if you're asking these questions, that means that you're not doing anything and you're looking for information to help you make a decision versus you making a decision to start working on something. You're wasting time. That's the realest I can give it to you. How much can you make reselling from your book bundle? I can't give you any guarantees, but if you get the book bundle, let's say you're a moderate hustler, 500 to 1,000 a month. If you a go getter, the sky's the limit. Bro, it's easy for a woman to say something like that when she can find someone else to take care of her. Yeah, I got ignorant. I was just like, you want me to miss out making money just so I can hang out with you? That ain't gonna happen. BK from the Rocket. It was probably a fairly peaceful week or so, allowed you more time to focus on your business. No, she really didn't get into it. She just wanted to spend time with me on the weekend. And then, she was like, look, I'm sorry. I just wanted to spend time. And, I found out that she went to the event and it was just dry. She was like, I could have missed that. And I was like, see, I would have been really mad if I had missed making money to be at this dry event. And we started laughing. 89 Dr. Funk. I mean, it got close to that. Um, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Taking out a loan to pay back taxes. You do stop the interest. Royal, I say all the time, no woman looks better than $1 million. I remember when you said when people be on sale for something, stacking to purchase a couple of humans. They already on sale, man. If you want to be a sugar daddy, you learn to negotiate, you can get the best of the best of the best for little or nothing. One weekend turns into two, etc. Yeah, because I was very firm about my position with the girls I was dating. I was like, look, Friday night I can't hang out. I got to go to work the next day, and I stuck to that. I never allowed a chick to take me off of that pathway. Never allowed it. And this is where these little conversations is like, look, you ain't coming between me and my business. You ain't that cute. I told the chick that. I was like, you ain't that cute. And she's like, what are you saying? You don't care about me? I care about you, but I care about me. I love me. My business takes care of me in ways that you can never take care of me. And she got kind of weird when I said that because, I mean, look, I had a heart attack a few weeks ago. My business kept humming. I got out the hospital. I had money in the bank. I want you to think about that. How many people, and also I had my girl, she took care of me. She did a real good job of taking care of me. Um, she waited on me hand and foot. And I had money in the bank. Not one bill payment. Well, that's the beauty of not having a lot of bills. I don't have a lot of bills. I don't have any debt. So it was a easy ride. I mean, other than the inconvenience of being sick. Sierra Holly. You got to be straight up with these women because they want your time. And when your time could be spent making money, you as a man have a decision to make because essentially, like the way that Gary Vee does it, Gary Vee goes hard. And then he may take off a month to be with the family. That's how he does it. So if I'm going to spend time with someone, it's pre-planned, and it'll be pre-planned around a slow time. Brian Hendricks, I've been doing eBay for 2 years, but honestly, it's something I don't see sustainable. I admit it. I've been overthinking about what to do creating a real business. I think I need to just choose. Yeah, you got to choose some, because one of the greatest wasters of time is looking for the perfect opportunity, the perfect thing that's going to work out. You got to pick something, because let me tell you what I went through. Since you answered my question, I appreciate that, because a lot of folks just act like I didn't ask a question. Uh, when I was in the military is when I got on this process, and I tried to sell stuff out of a catalog. I tried a Janet King franchise. I came up with a radical ideal, a picture with your pooch. I went out and bought a $1,500 camera, got a credit card, put an ad in the HAC, which was hell of expensive back then. It was like 125 bucks per week in the classified section. And I had a phone installed in my room. So I probably spent $2,500, $3,000 getting set up for that business, and I did not get one phone call. And I was like, I was so mad. I threw my first camera and I broke it because I was so mad that it didn't work. And what each one of my failures taught me was I did no market research. I just came up with an ideal and got on it. I did not even question people with pets with, hey, would you like a picture with your pooch? See, if I was to do that today, I would question people. When you're debt free and your business humming, you could talk that real talk. Man, that was one of my best moments in life when I got out the hospital. And also I had memory problems. I couldn't remember passwords. But when I was able to get in my bank account, I was like, ooh. And I was able to get in PayPal. I had money. I was like, oh, interesting. And this is one of the things, because I wasn't making videos, I wasn't promoting anything. I still had money coming in. The name is, should you teach your partner your business? One of the things is I can't really teach my partner this business, because we had that conversation. And you should have done pet funerals. That's funny. We had that conversation, and one of the things I have to do is build this, and that's where the paid advertising was going to come into place, because I don't have any advertising going right now. And we're still working on that, because I am the generator of this business, and I go down, it stops. And that's one of the dangers of having a lifestyle brand. When you're the business, and one of the name reasons I changed the name out of Glendon Cameron was to create a business, because I got some thoughts and stuff for what I'm going to do in the future. Jesse Sanders, these videos are helping me plan better. I look back on how I did my Amazon selling, and I missed the time I spent. I've been listening to you for a few months. I'm starting to make better decisions. Okay, all right, all right. Rugged collars, don't even try. Because one of the things that I want to do is standardize this, where I can bring some employees in to run this. And that's one of the reasons that I'm getting ready to do this big push. So we will see how that goes, because one of the things about bringing an employee in and have them do YouTube videos is a lot of y'all revolt. Y'all like, I don't want to see Valencia. I want Glendon. And I saw that people were not ready for that, and they just like, no, 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 we don't want to see her. We want to see you. So this is a very important part of growing your business and managing time. Get started soon as possible. If I had to go back and give myself advice in high school, I would have really crunk up that lawn service. I really would have got every lawn in the neighborhood, got a truck. I didn't understand what I could have done back then. I didn't understand because I had no one to teach me. But you want to start as soon as possible. When you talk to people about their businesses and they have regrets, it's like, I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had, because I really started YouTube shortly after I started to recover. So that's one of the things that happened. All right. So I'm getting ready to end this. Those you need help with, go below. The Power of Six Productivity course will help you manage time better. You managing time, you managing money. Go below. There's a blueprint, there's a pathway of what courses you should take. All right. So I will see you guys later. Peace.